Welcome back to the channel, guys, and of course, yes guys, the Tesla Cybertruck has indeed gotten much better and by a million times on its own. And of course, psych to anyone who actually thought that the Cybertruck was any good to even begin with. And of course, to all the multi-gender pronoun changing woke vegan out there, and on top of which also going out to each and every one of those estrogen infused cross-dressing men who of course most likely play with Barbie dolls at home. If any one of y'all even thought that this complete hunk of junk was in any way a successful automobile or even something that could keep you safe from the get-go, well, the joke's on you. But wait, that would actually be an insult to a joke. Nevertheless, coming on to mansory, of all the cars that they could have picked, they went on to the Cybertruck, which is a complete hunk of crap on its own, which has a bigger probability of killing you rather than taking you to your destination. But nevertheless, they've given it their quintessential mansory treatment of overdosing it with forged carbon fiber all over. Starting off with the front, they've completely replaced the entire steel front end with forged carbon fiber, a complete forged carbon fiber bonnet, and of course a proper bumper on top. And the complete proper highly poised and bold mansory logo on its own is just complete ugliness on its own. I mean, it's just completely bold and out there for no apparent reason. And on top of which, the complete proper front view on its own solely looks to orchestrate the fact as if the entire car has been in fact encased in forged carbon fiber. But once you take a look around the side, you still see that it is still the same brittle material, i.e. metal on its own. And of course, they've replaced the proper rims with 16-inch wheels. And of course, they decided to give it somewhat of a utilitarian accessory, i.e. a light bar on top, which does make a somewhat amount of sense. But of course, it will of course come in handy if you go off-roading. But of course, that will result in either you crashing the car or the car going into home limp mode, thereby resulting in you going home with your Cybertruck on a flatbed while you completely reassess all your life's decisions and you regret selling your 69 Dodge Charger. Nevertheless, coming back to the Cybertruck on its own, they have replaced the complete cheap plastic fenders which you could legit rip out with your hands with forged carbon fiber. And of course, we don't know if they are properly hooked in. And of course, Whistle and Diesel is more than welcome to find out and prove me right or wrong on its own. And of course, they've even removed the complete plastic mirrors, which on their own can also be broken by hand with forged carbon fiber on its own. And they've properly put in a complete forged carbon fiber side skirt as well. I mean, they think that it most probably adds style points, but it doesn't. But of all the goddamn things that they put on, one thing triumphs over everything else of being the most useless and the most senseless proper accessory on it, i.e. the mini winglets at the back, which are of course mostly used for aerodynamic purposes on supers. But why the hell did they put them on a fucking Cybertruck on its own? It's a Cybertruck, it ain't gonna go on a track, and even if it does, it is most likely gonna crash or kill the person, or as I said, it will just completely go back home in home limp mode on its own, or it will just drive itself to the other end of the planet. But nevertheless, forged carbon fiber mini winglets at the back. I mean, I don't know what mansory were thinking. And of course, towards the back, they've completely once again extended the complete forged carbon bits from the fenders to the entire rear bumper. I mean, first off, Tesla has to fix that complete malfunctioning tow hook on its own. And of course, with the fact that if mansory even thinks that anyone could even be seen showboating in this, and of course, by showboating, if anyone out there thinks to properly go around in their complete mansory elongation, and yes, that is exactly what mansory calls it. If anyone actually thinks that going out in their complete mansory elongation, completely screaming and proclaiming their pronouns from the seat of this Cybertruck elongation while it completely drives them to death on its own, if you all think that is in any way showboating, well, may God be with you. But nevertheless, guys, what do you think? I mean, mansory on their own are highly known to, as it is, overdose each and every single car and project that they take on, and the Cybertruck, or the proper elongation as they're calling it, is nothing short of that statement. And well, guys, I mean, in what way is this even a good upgrade on its own? I mean, there is legit nothing on the face of the earth that could make a Cybertruck better or good in any way whatsoever. And of course, extending on to the interior, they have given it a complete new upholstery with leather and of course forged carbon all over. And of course, they've given it somewhat of a good interior, but of course, for the fact that that interior is legit drier than my DMs on its own, with the fact that it has is one big screen in the center and just two pedals in the foot box as well as a steering wheel. Well, that's about it on its own. They've given it a somewhat of a decent interior, but at the end of the day, the fact that it's a Cybertruck on the outside is exactly why it will deter even that from being any amount of a proper positive note. And well, guys, that's the all-new mansory elongation. And well, what the hell is that name? I mean, Mansory definitely ought to give that a rethink. And of course, a much more suitable name would be to name it the Cybertruck on its own. But nevertheless, guys, what the hell is signifying that name? Elongation? They're elongating something, or what? Actually, I would rather not know the answer to that question, so of course forget I said anything. But nevertheless, guys, at the end of the day, it is still a proper forged carbon fiber kit on its own, meaning it's going to cost quite the pretty penny to get. And of course, a much more cost effective and a much more reliable and a much more life saving alternative would be to go for a proper second hand internal combustion engine powered automobile on its own. But nevertheless, to all the proper multi-gender, proper woke individuals out there who choose to opt for this kit for their Cybertruck, well, all the best when it properly drives you to the other end of the earth with this complete expensive proper coffin that you're sitting in. And of course, let's see if your pronouns come in handy then. But nevertheless, what do you guys think about the all new elongation? Comment below. And well, guys, thanks for watching. Remember to hit that sub button and click the bell to ensure you don't miss out on any future videos. Thanks for watching. I see ya.